I've had my pole set up in my home for 2 years now. Let's check in on my progress. Wow, feels like it's been a year since my last progress video. Anyway, some things have changed. Firstly, I finally became comfortable using the pole on static mode. I had a huge mental block around static pole for the first 18 months of home training, but now I find doing simple spins like these ones to actually be really fun. And most excitingly, I discovered I can do single hand spins. Seriously, hanging on with just one hand and spinning around with actual control makes me feel like a superhero. Okay, switching the pole to spin again. This is a Kelsey video after all. I've gotten much more comfortable with behind the back spins, like this Juliet spin with my inside leg bent behind me to help grip the pole. I still don't feel too much like letting my supporting hand go, so most times I keep it on, and that's okay. It's taken me this full 2 years to rebuild the strength for this backward spin, which I think might sometimes be called a reverse carousel. My arms are reaching behind me to hold me up, but my torso is facing out. I lift my legs in a stag position as I spin. It takes a lot of focus not to dump my weight onto that upper arm, so I consider this still a work in progress. I've also gotten way comfier with outside and inside leg hangs and transitioning between the two. I invert from a side climb, hook my outside leg onto the pole, and release my hands, then bring my inside leg around to hook the pole instead while I reach for my free foot with my hands for a cocoon, I think. Inside leg hangs used to feel like skin-flaying torture, and now they feel like skin-flaying deep discomfort. Progress! I've added some new tricks to my repertoire. This is the wing, an upright move with my inside arm reaching high and my inside leg behind the pole pointing straight down while I reach behind myself with my outside arm and tuck my outside leg up. One side can release the upper hand, but the other definitely doesn't want to. Instead, let me just spin around aimlessly for a while, okay? I stumble to the floor and reel backwards, disoriented. Here's the chopstick split, a horizontal split with one hand hanging onto the pole while the other reaches forward to grab the front leg while the other leg kicks back. This has a long way to go, but I can consistently hold it. I was trying to show off this random move with the pole tucked into my inside armpit, reaching across to grab my outside knee and the other arm holding behind, then randomly busted out this thing that I think is called a zombie. And then I slipped trying to recreate it. My shoulder mounts, sometimes, but not all of the time, are consistent enough that I can hold them for a while. Here, I'm taking this one into an inverted crucifix so I can try for my aisha, an upside-down move where you take your legs off the pole and hold all your weight on your upper body. I am taking this one extremely slow since I don't have an instructor or spotter, so you may not even see this in the 3 years of progress video, but that doesn't dampen my excitement. I was trying a crucifix-based move, then randomly busted out a twisted ballerina. Is the key to doing a hard move trying to do a different move? Here's one I learned 3 whole days ago. I perform a side climb and a brief air walk. I hook my inside leg to get into a jasmine position, then swing my legs around until my body faces the ground, parallel with the pole between my thighs and one hand hanging on. I painfully contort my upper body until I can reach both hands onto the pole above my head, arching my back. Someone said this was called the Dove, which is much too peaceful a name for the way this feels. I sputter as I drop to my knees on the mat. Let's talk inversions. I've recently begun attempting straight leg deadlift style inversions, no tucking the knees up first, no momentum, and that shit is hard. Let me be clear, you'll see me sort of do one of these on each side, but that is my absolute maximum right now. Some days, actually a lot of days, I can't even manage regular chopper inversions with the bent knees. They just don't want to work. Yes, even after 2 years. Don't let that big number fool you into thinking I'm a perfect professional now. Like those shoulder mounts I showed you, that was sheer I'm recording my progress video willpower. Most times my shoulder mounts end with my legs not getting high enough and just crashing back to the mat. You know, I think I should just show you the less than impressive stuff now. I'm able to do aerial inverts, kind of, from a side climb since I have something to brace off of, but oh boy, they are a work in progress if I try to just get into one from a regular climb, holding the pole at my side. I know, yes I know, that my head and torso need to go back as I bring my legs up, but I am simply not there yet. Yeah, I can consistently get into a Superman now, like I showed you with the dove, but more often than not, my brain stops and I dump myself off the pole as my exit of choice. Here, I want to show you my progress with the vertical pole split, but instead lose my grip and careen down. Almost every time I bring both hands in front of me while I spin towards the top of the pole, I slip and see my life flashing before my eyes. And some things really haven't changed at all. Here's me attempting an aerial ballerina, getting stuck at the exact same slippery spot as last year. Here's me attempting a seahorse, last seen almost 2 years ago, still far from my reach. And my hands-only climb, where I sit at the base of the pole and lift my weight using only my arms, actually looked better in last year's progress video? What the heck? But just getting to the 2-year mark feels like such an achievement. This year, I performed a pole routine in public for the first time, and I only fell noticeably once. I put on my inflatable dinosaur costume and struggled to even get to the pole. I spent weeks learning a difficult pole routine and managed to catch the attention of the pole artist who created it. One of my Instagram posts randomly went semi-viral and got like 10,000 views in one day. I've had so much fun, so many bruises, and so many hours of frustrated tears during this pole journey, and it's not stopping here. I'll leave you with one last horrible screech to remember me by until next time. I collapse back onto the mat and flash a thumbs up. The subscribe button appears on the right. A suggested video and playlist appear on the left.